Hello, I'm Vicky. I'm a female scaffolder working offshore in the UK. I'm currently the only female scaffolder working offshore in the UK, and these are my top 5 favourite things about working offshore. Obviously, the main reason and my favourite thing about working offshore is the time off. But I'm going to go outside of that. I'm going to tell you things that I like about actually working on the rigs. So, my favourite thing is to do with my job. Obviously my job is a really heavy manual handling job. It requires a lot of heavy lifting. Scaffolding is a really heavy job. I've done a lot of it on the beach, but since coming offshore, they do not use 21-foot tubes. Now, scaffs will know that what these are, but anyone who doesn't know, these are basically the longest, heaviest tubes that you use regularly as a scaffolder. They weigh approximately 29 kilos. Now, I hand on my heart believe that if 21-foot tubes never existed, we'd probably have a few more women in the industry. I don't think that's the only reason why. It's not really a female-friendly industry, or it was never really, a women's job. Because there is other heavy equipment and materials used. But ultimately the 21s are like the badass tubes of the industry. Those are like the fucking worst. Or if you're a big macho muscle man, they're probably your favourite because they make you look hard as fuck if you're tossing them around like toothpicks. And I just want to put out there that, it is a known fact that men are physically stronger than women. That is why scaffolding is more a man's job. I think there is literally only 6, maybe around 8 to 10 fully qualified females in the UK now, and I'm the only one working offshore. But to be fair, like I say, offshore doesn't have any 21s, so I think it's a little bit more easier to work with. It comes with its shit. There's a lot of there's a lot of tough aspects to the job still, but not having 21-foot tubes makes a huge difference. And although I do know there is a girl who works in a woman who works in Sheffield, Georgia, big shout out to G. She is amazing with the 21s, she is doing everything possible. She tops out with them up to her chest. She works with them pretty much every day. She hasn't got an issue with the 21s. If I went to go and pick a 21-foot tube just up off the floor right now, probably struggle a bit. Definitely couldn't stand it up. Definitely couldn't top out. I could stand it up, foot it up against a wall. Only scaffs will understand this lingo. But for me, you can ram your 21s. I don't want that to do with them, right? I'm happy with my 16s offshore. Sometimes I fucking struggle with them. So yeah, I'm happy offshore. Now, the next thing that I love about offshore is the lack of chores. So it's like having a little break from doing any chores. I don't have to do any laundry because it's all done. I don't have to do any cooking because it's all done. You even get stewards cleaning your rooms, cleaning up the recreational areas. You're not having to do any mopping or hoovering or anything like that. So chore free when you're out there. It's a nice little break from that. Another one, I'm gonna call this number 3. I'm gonna make this like a count up. So number 1, the favourite thing is no 21-foot tubes. Number 2, no chores. Number 3, I'm gonna say not having to get dressed, get ready, or dress to impress, right? I literally don't wash my hair for a couple of days. I don't barely brush it, I'm not gonna lie. I walk around, I can wash and brush my hair in the morning, right? Within an hour, I'm walking around looking like an orangutan, right? Genuinely like an orangutan. My hair just frizzes, it gets sweaty, it gets frizzy, it gets tatty more than anything because of the hard hat, rubs on the back of my head, rubs around the side of my head. I know that I look like I've been electrocuted a lot of the time, and it doesn't bother me at all. I'm not out there to try and, I'm working with all these men, I'm working with them and I'm having a banter with them. I'm not there to date them. So it doesn't matter what I look like. If anything, I'd rather look like shit so that I haven't got them all chasing us around and sniffing us out like dogs. The uglier and the rougher, the better for me. So my next one, I'm gonna say, and this might sound a little bit sad to some people, but I just love the sunrises and the sunsets. Like the views out there are beautiful, and like outside of your work, you know, if you're really enjoying your company and you're not pushed too hard, and you've got a little bit of time in the morning or in an evening to go out and have a little look at the sunrise or the sunset, honestly, a game changer. It's just really, really good for your well-being. You know, you close your eyes, you think you're somewhere else. If you can block out the noise and just, you know, you can travel anywhere in your mind where you want. Just looking at that sunrise and sunset, it does something to the soul. It really, really does. Every now and then you might see a little bit of wildlife out there as well. So yeah, just the beautiful sea views. I really love that as well. Number 5. And you know what? I can't believe I've left this till last. But I suppose because it's something you can get anywhere, but it's genuinely, it's the people that I meet out there. You're in a very sort of closed off small area, so you've got the chance to really sit and talk deeply and get to know people. Now don't get me wrong, you get your average box standard everyday passive chatter shit in the tea shacks that I tend to really zone out of. You know, I put up with, but inside I'm dying when it's the same shit. I'm a very deep person and I love personal chats. I like to get to know people on a deeper level. It's just who I am. I'm emotional, you know, I'm very deep rooted in wanting to know and help people. You know, if people are feeling shit, like I want to help them feel a bit better. I'm into mindset, spirituality, well-being, so getting to know people deeper, you know, figuring out ways that I can plant little seeds with them, having deep conversations. I'm philosophical, and I tell you what, I'm getting more and more of that every trip offshore. Philosophical chats and putting the world to rights and open-mindedness. There's so much more of it offshore, and I really enjoy that about it. Yeah, I'm a social person, you know, so the social aspect of it I actually really like. And of course, if I do ever meet and share a room with another woman and I get a bond with another woman, it's like we've got so much in common, because in terms of mindset, the fact that we obviously have a lot of masculine mindset, we're comfortable around the masculine, the type of banter, the masculine style banter, I suppose. And also the resilience and the toughness of actually, you know, being away from home and that sort of adventurous lifestyle. So, you know, if I can meet another woman who's on that same wavelength, then that can be a really nice friendship. So it's the people, believe it or not. You meet some right cunts out there as well, but let's, you know, we'll put that in the least favourite bit, eh? So yeah, that was my top 5 things that I actually really like about working offshore and I like about my job. So stay tuned, because there is a part 2, obviously the 5 worst things about working offshore as well, from my perspective as a female who's been working offshore for 6 years now. Thank you so much for listening. See you soon.